The power of silence. Why Stoics speak less and achieve more. In a world filled with noise, silence has become a superpower. Every day, people compete to be heard. They argue online. They defend themselves against every criticism. They explain every decision. They seek attention, validation, and approval. But the Stoics understood something most people never learn. Silence is power. The strongest person in the room is often not the loudest. The strongest person is the one who remains calm while everyone else is reacting. Think about it. When someone insults you, what is their goal? Usually, they want a reaction. They want your anger. They want your attention. They want your energy. The moment you react emotionally, they gain control over you. But when you remain silent, something remarkable happens. You keep your power. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This simple lesson contains incredible wisdom. Most people speak before they think. They interrupt. They argue. They react instantly. As a result, they often create problems that never needed to exist. The Stoic takes a different approach. They pause. They observe. They think. Then they respond only when necessary. Silence creates space between emotion and action. And in that space, wisdom is born. Imagine a lake on a windy day. The surface is disturbed. The water becomes cloudy. You cannot see clearly. Now imagine the lake becoming still. The water settles. Everything becomes visible. Your mind works the same way. When emotions are raging, your judgment becomes clouded. When you become silent, your thoughts settle. You begin to see clearly. This is why silence is not weakness. It is strength. Many people fear silence because silence forces them to confront themselves. They fill every moment with noise. Music. Social media. Television. Constant conversation. Anything to avoid being alone with their thoughts. But the Stoics embraced silence. They used it as a tool for self-mastery. Because in silence, you discover who you truly are. You learn what matters. You learn what doesn't. You begin to separate truth from distraction. And that clarity becomes your advantage. Think about the most successful leaders, warriors, and thinkers throughout history. Many shared one common trait. They listened more than they spoke. They observed more than they reacted. They understood that information is power. And you gather information by listening, not by talking. When you speak constantly, you reveal your thoughts. When you listen carefully, you learn the thoughts of others. Silence gives you knowledge. Knowledge gives you wisdom. Wisdom gives you power. This is one reason why Stoics value silence so highly. Another reason is energy. Every argument costs energy. Every unnecessary explanation costs energy. Every attempt to convince people who refuse to understand costs energy. Most people waste enormous amounts of mental energy trying to control how others perceive them. They explain themselves endlessly. They defend every decision. They seek approval from everyone around them. The Stoic refuses to play this game. They understand a powerful truth. Not everyone will understand you. And that's okay. You do not need to explain your purpose to those committed to misunderstanding it. You do not need to defend your growth. You do not need permission to become better. Sometimes silence is the strongest answer. When someone doubts you, silence combined with action is more powerful than any argument. When someone criticizes you unfairly, silence protects your peace. When someone tries to provoke you, silence becomes your shield. This does not mean you never speak. It means you speak with purpose. Every word has value. Every sentence has meaning. The Stoic understands that words are tools, not weapons. They choose them carefully. Imagine how much your life would change if you spoke only when necessary. How many arguments would disappear? How many regrets would vanish? How much energy would you save? Probably more than you realize. One of the greatest benefits of silence is emotional control. When anger appears, silence prevents damage. When frustration appears, silence creates perspective. When fear appears, silence allows reflection. Many mistakes happen because people react immediately. They send the angry message. They make the emotional decision. They say the hurtful words. And later they regret it. The Stoic pauses. Silence gives them time to think. And thinking leads to better decisions. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that calmness is strength. A calm mind cannot be manipulated easily. A calm mind cannot be controlled by every insult or inconvenience. A calm mind remains focused on what truly matters. That calmness begins with silence. Silence teaches patience. Silence teaches discipline. Silence teaches awareness. And awareness is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Because once you become aware of your emotions, they stop controlling you. You begin controlling them. You become less reactive, less impulsive, less dependent on the opinions of others. You become stronger, more confident, more focused, more free. The world rewards those who master themselves. And self-mastery begins when you stop reacting to everything. Not every criticism deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every battle deserves your energy. Choose carefully. Protect your peace. Guard your focus. Value your silence. Remember this. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of power. It is where wisdom grows. It is where clarity emerges. It is where strength is built. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remain calm. The next time life becomes chaotic, be still. The next time emotions rise, pause before speaking. Because silence is not surrender. Silence is control. Silence is discipline. Silence is confidence. And silence is one of the greatest weapons a Stoic can possess. Speak less. Observe more. Protect your energy. Focus on what matters. And let your actions speak louder than your words. That is the true power of silence. That is the Stoic way.